with the Joseph Goddard protocol I made up based on Neville Goddard's dad. Neville Goddard's dad used to sit in his Burpees chair every day and imagine specific meetings of his day already having gone his way. And that to me is probably the number one game changer I'm noticing with people. If I can get you to imagine 3, 5, or 10 specific events of your day already having gone your way before you get out of bed, you're going to start to own your morning and own your day. And here's the cool thing. Neville Goddard's dad did this with specific events of his day. I do it with specific events of my day. So before I get out of bed this morning, I've imagined podcast. What would imply that I nailed the podcast? Your feedbacks. Next, what else do I got on my schedule today? Marie, what do I imagine about that? Radio. I imagine, hearing back from you, and that was great. So nailed that. What else do I got on today? Lunch with Victoria. Now here's the cool thing. Maybe once every 3 to 6 months, you and I do a something together. So that's not every day on my Joseph Goddard, but every day I ate lunch with Victoria. So I imagine her yum, my experience of her yum before I get out of bed, even if I don't know what lunch is, and so on and so forth. I imagine having had a great time at the pool because I go to the pool every day. And some people go, well, that's shit that would have happened anyway. Well, that's the thing. No, it ain't. Because at any time, you're not a raft without a rudder. As far as I'm concerned, you're more like a sailboat. You can adjust the sail, you can adjust the rudder. And whenever you do this Joseph Goddard practice, like literally every day, I imagine my experience of Victoria's yum. That implies yummy food, yummy relationship. I experience my experience of having had a great time at the pool. I imagine that by having Victoria ask, how was the pool? And I tell her I feel great, or I'm hurting, as I strained something, or Eric was there, or whatever. So I imagine these little tiny incidents. I'm investing that time before I get out of bed because you're imagining anyway as you wake up. If you let it go to default, it's going to be problem-oriented cortisol. If you take charge of it, it becomes possibility-oriented. And so I nail those specific events of my day. And a lot of them are routine, but some of them are very unique, like our meeting today.
So I'm not like they should do the Joseph Goddard, those little imaginings in the morning of their day to day. But when do they fit in those bigger, and bigger is a judgment, but those different
this
things.
Is great. Great you caught that. This is really good. Neville Goddard said the moment you feel a desire, that's whenever you surrender to its assumption. And that actually might be 2 quotes combined, but that's all right. The moment you feel a desire, that's when you move into its assumption. And so, one of my biggies was the Australian citizenship. I came here, met my wife, moved here, went through all the visa processes, all that stuff. But I was imagining citizenship. That's a big deal. It took a couple years. I didn't imagine it every day. I just imagined it once in a while. So whenever the whole idea of citizenship showed up, I'd surrender into, and this is my imaginal experience, the pain in the ass thing of having to go vote. Not a fan of voting. So I surrendered to that, and I did it maybe 3-5 times over a couple years. And the cool thing was, when I planted the seed, I wasn't concerned about it anymore. The only time it really bothered me would be if I was out in public and somebody talked about they're changing the immigration laws or something, and I'd be like, I'm screwed. It's like, hold on, 20, don't pick up that seat. Imagine voting. And then I just sort of surrender into that, and boom. That's the cool thing, because your desires are divine in origin. And if you surrender to the experience of what would imply the wishes fulfilled, you notice I didn't imagine my citizenship ceremony. I imagined having to vote. What I have to do in Australia, by the way, for those who don't live here, only Australians can vote, and Australians must vote, or they send you a fine. How cool is that? It's like, we want you to vote, or we're going to fine you. So it's like, that's the perfect imaginal act right there.